Okay, one of my favorite YouTubers, Chibi Reviews, just made a video about this new anime that just came out called Oshi no Ko, and I heard a lot of good things about this. And as someone that watches anime, knowing nothing about it, going in blind, this anime was one episode only, one episode that is 1 hour and 21 minutes long, topped even Full Metal Alchemist. Now, of course, it just came out. The fan base of Full Metal Alchemist will probably beat it up and make it drop, but regardless, one episode was enough to get this anime to be above it. And my favorite YouTuber, Chibi, is like talking about it, and he generally doesn't spoil stuff, so I'm gonna go in blind and watch what he has to say about it. I've heard a little bit about how good it is and everything, but we'll see what he says, because I'm really interested.
22 minutes. That is how long this first episode of Oshi no Ko is. And throwing aside my critic, throwing aside my reviewer sense of self, and just looking at this as an anime fan, as an enjoyer of anime itself and manga, this has to be one of the best premieres I have seen in a very, very long time. As someone that has read this original source, and someone going in, when I started literally this episode, I started, watching it, I knew probably where this first episode would end. I was under a really good impression of just like the ending of it, what cliffhanger would be left on. I know it was going to send waves through the anime community, and I know for a fact, I haven't looked, but I know for a fact the anime community is heavily discussing this episode of Oshi.
Yeah, I've been hearing
just for the
I've been hearing a lot of stuff, and I've been trying my best not to spoil it. Like, I have I won't say I have an idea what it's about. It's only one episode, right? So I can't really say I know exactly what's going to happen. But I at least know what the biggest thing that happened in the actual first episode. I haven't watched it myself because I kind of want to make a video out of it or like record it or something. I don't know. But for an hour long, I don't think I actually can. I'm not exactly sure. I guess we'll have to see. Anyways, I've definitely seen a little bit. So
sheer quality that the first episode had to offer. And even as someone that knew the story beats, knew what to expect, knew, for instance, spoiler alert, if you haven't watched the episode, I recommend you go watch the episode, knew about this.
Oh, no. I don't want to see it. I'm sorry, Chibi. I love you.
Really is than the manga. And let's discuss that. I've had this conversation here and there over the years about just how, oftentimes there is anime that does surpass its original source. Either the manga...
I totally skipped it. I know. You're probably like, no, I wanted to see that, but I haven't seen it yet, and I'm going into making this video with the idea that you also have not seen it yet, so...
Or light novel. But, as I always say when I make this discussion, it's a rarity. It doesn't happen often. And the reason for that is because, obviously, some studios have either production issues, they have to cut corners, there's CGI thrown in, just different things. And sometimes the art's just too good, it cannot be replicated in an anime format. Berserk is a good example of this. So when you think about just, anime in general, oftentimes anime does not surpass its original source. Because that's just how it is most of the time. But in terms of what Oshi no Ko is about, for instance, if you think about just the synopsis, looking aside or pushing aside this final...
Oh, actually, I'll look real quick. I'm kind of curious myself. Let me see. A 16-year-old Ai Hoshino is a talented and beautiful idol who is adored by her fans. She is the personification of a pure young maiden. So I got the idea that it's already about an idol, and they're really pure in Japan. They're not supposed to have boyfriends and stuff like that. That's like all the people that I know of that's been talking about it. That's kind of like what the anime focuses on. And she isn't as pure as her fans supposedly think that she is or whatever. But anyways, let's keep reading. But all that glitters is not gold. Guru Amemiya, I might be pronouncing that incorrectly, is a countryside gynecologist and a big fan of Ai. So when the pregnant idol, so she's pregnant, okay, she gets pregnant, and I'm guessing her fans are probably like, oh, nah, bro, what the hell? But when the pregnant idol shows up at his hospital, he is beyond bewildered. Guru promises her a safe delivery. Little does he know, an encounter with a mysterious figure would result in his ultimate untimely death. I cannot read today, or so he thought. Opening his eyes in the lap of his beloved idol, Guru finds that he has been reborn as Aquamarine Hoshino, Ai's newborn son. Okay, so the doctor that took care of the kid gets killed by one of her fans, gets reincarnated as her son. Interesting. With his world turned upside down, Guru's son soon learns that the world of showbiz is paved with thorns, where talent does not always beget success. Will he manage to protect Ai's smile that he loves so much with the help of an uncentric and unexpected ally? Episode 1 of previewed at screenings at the whatever bar. Okay. So basically what I got so far is I did kind of notice already, but this is one of the main character or the idol's kids, and this is supposedly the doctor that gets reincarnated. I don't know who the girl is, to be honest, but I'm gonna assume we also like meet her or something, but I guess we'll see, right?
Showcases that overall side of the industry in a very dark way, while also having a very engaging story with some very cutesy moments as well, with throwing in some fantasy elements on top of that with the, overall concept of reincarnation. I think that overall, when you just take a look at the way this story is and presented, at least when it was in the manga, it makes a lot of sense why it would come to life in the anime and honestly surpass its original source if given proper passion. Because obviously the whole point of it is kind of about the voices, the characters conveying their feelings through the voice and the way they move, etc. And stuff like this can only benefit, from good art and animation and voice acting. So when you really take a hard look at what this first episode has to offer, it makes a lot of sense why those words ring really true about it surpassing its original source. Now, let's get into some nitty-gritty stuff, okay? Let's start from the very beginning. Let's just talk about how this series kind of tries to convey, what is going on within its story. We get introduced to this character, Ai, which,
the main character.
First impressions, when you see the way this story is conveyed, you assume that she's going to be kind of like the main character. That's at least what it seems.
She's not the main character.
Obviously, we follow her two kids and all that, and they get to kind of discuss Ai and all that, their mother, and how she is doing in showbiz and all this. And we could assume that eventually maybe the spotlight would, shift to those two. We could assume that. But we definitely thought, at least many probably thought, watching this, if you're an anime only, that Ai would be the main character. We're following her journey of dealing with the difficulties of showbiz, entertainment, being an idol, all this type of stuff, while trying to maintain a kind of a, normal life, so to speak, with her kids, and keep them a secret as well. That alone, that plot alone, is enough to really just write a whole manga about. Like, seriously, take a moment to think about it, okay? The writer of OSHI no Ko did not need to go that hard and do this little twist at the end. Like, they didn't. When you really think about how far they need to go, they literally could have wrote an entire story about just Ai having two kids, trying to raise them, and maintain this life. That's literally all it needed. We didn't need a death scene or anything like that, but we got that.
Oh, somebody dies.
The plot even more.
Interesting.
But the point is that this could have told a very unique story. And it makes me wonder if there ever is, like, maybe a what-if story or a side story spinoff or something. What would happen if, let's say, Ai didn't get murdered at the end of the episode? How would of the story been different, so to speak? But getting back on point, though, is that with the little twist at the end, it kind of sets the stage for more of
I don't know why I didn't
open
like full screen.
Who was the father of these two kids? Why did he want Ai murdered? But on top of that, after everything, after all this time, why did he decide to get rid of Ai after such a long year gap between the first attempt and then the second attempt? It makes you wonder those questions. Now, one thing that we do need to dive into as well is the actual plot change, or the direction of it. Because of, obviously, the way the story shifts at the end of the episode, we could definitely agree that now it's more of a revenge plot. For instance, our main
it's like a revenge anime?
Has a purpose. Like, he had no purpose when his, mother died, or Ai died, and that was the only reason he wanted to live this new life. Now that she's gone, his only purpose now is to find out who the father is and get rid of him, so to speak. Why did he do all of this? Because
okay. I'm getting some decent vibes out of this already.
Life, he was murdered as well, pretty much by the same guy. So it's just like it all kind of comes together, and it's just like, why go to such extremes? But yeah, the plot has obviously shifted into revenge, and even though some might not like that overall aspect, I think that people will like it because of the delivery of the scene. And if you were one of those individuals that were not spoiled, and I really hope a lot of you weren't, but if you're one of those individuals that were not spoiled and you got to this moment, this scene, hell, even as someone that knew what was happening, okay? You know, I've read the manga. This scene hit me. Like, it hit me. I started tearing up. And, like, legit, I knew what was coming. But
I am excited. Like, I already was excited about the anime just because I heard so many people talking about it. And now that I get that it's like a revenge type of plot anime or whatever, oh my lord. And then the fact that I've seen some clips and it just looks beautiful. I can't wait to watch it.
That hard, I cannot imagine anime onlys and their overall attachment to Ai as a character. And when this happens, it's like a knife getting stabbed in your heart. And you're like, really? And then obviously you're going to want to side with Aqua and Ruby and the whole play of wanting to get vengeance. That's definitely what your feelings are probably going to be. So I think that the overall presentation and the way this is presented in story form, especially in anime, is fantastic to kick the plot off. Because it's like, when you think about how much content was covered here, okay? This is the first 10 chapters of OSHI no Ko. Like, that's what the first episode covers. And this is the scene in chapter 10. And I think that, you know, overall, when you think about it, they would have done this as a properly paced series. Like, if they would have done it like, you know, a 20-minute episode, this would have been like the 5th episode this would have happened. So imagine just the overall weight of sitting week by week watching this and all that, week by week, and then that scene happens. It would shock people. But I do think that in a way, the way they presented this first episode,
right, I feel like they kind of gave you, or they're going to give me, because I ain't watched it yet, but they gave the people that did watch it yo, this is the story, this is what happened, and this is the journey. Let's watch it. And I'm liking that.
It's smart for 2 key reasons. For one, it doesn't try to trick people into thinking that it's something it's not. But on top of that, it kind of stops people from spoiling things. Because the main thing that's going to get people for spoilers is definitely this final scene. And the fact that it's in the first episode, I think, is good. Because that means that nobody can be spoiled at this point if they watch it. Like, if they just watch the episode they just discovered or whatever streaming service like High Dive here, they'll be like, oh, wow, that's crazy. And then, you know, probably watch the second episode. So I do think that the way the first episode was handled was the best way to handle spoilers, but also just to handle the overall direction of where the story actually would.
Because I think, I love you, TB. I don't want to, like, keep watching and get any more, like, spoilers or anything. I love the video. You guys go check out his video, or him as a person. He makes awesome reaction videos and news and all that stuff about anime. I love the dude. I watch all his stuff. Anyways, I think I get the idea of what it's about though. A murder happens for the main character. She's an idol. She's really popular. She has fans that look up to her. They see her as really pure. I'm just assuming because I don't know. I haven't watched that. Maybe the person that hurts her or kill her, and maybe even the doctor, was one of her fans. I'm just gonna assume maybe they found out that she was pregnant and had a really big grudge against her or something like that. But I'm really excited for this, and I hope people that are watching this are also excited. And or if you already watch it, let me know, because I will love to get more insight about it. So yeah, great video. This was lit. Thanks, Chibi. Love you, man. Thanks everybody for watching. I'm out this joint. I didn't stop recording.